guys, welcome back. In this video we are looking at Whole Lotta Rosie by ACDC. What you are going to get out of this tune is good work on power chords, some quick left hand shifting there, some palm muting. If you haven't done palm muting before, this is a great one to work with to get in and out of palm muting and just feeling very secure about that movement. And some basic open chords, some quick shifting, but not too much going on there. So we've got an intro, verse, pre-chorus, and a chorus. And generally speaking, all of those are repetitive riffs or very short sections. So you get a lot in a little bit. And I love songs like that for learning purposes. And it's a great song, fun song to play too. So let's jump right into it. On the intro, we're going to be alternating power chords with the open A string, open string 5. So we start with open string 5 to a C5, open string 5 to a D5, open string 5 again to a C5, and a quick little shift to an A5 chord here, right? So that's C5, D5, and then A5 here. You can just play open string 5, string 4 fret 2, or I always use a bar, so there's a good chance you'll catch string 3 fret 2 in that as well. So that rhythm is it's a good one for timing too, because that intro, it just has that riff and then there's nothing, and of course there's lyrics going on. But you have to time that entrance back in, so it can be good for just rhythm training as well. All right, that's really it though. So that's like the opening verse, intro / opening verse. And then there's a variation on that riff for the remainder of, I don't know if it's all the verses, but at least what immediately follows. So same concept, but we're not going to be going to these full C5 and D5 power chords. We're just going to hit the root note. So you would have seen me in the at the beginning of the video using my second finger and fourth finger, so I can easily get back into this A5 chord. Okay, so we started out same exact way: open 3, open 5, open 3 on the 5th string. And then this is where the palm muting comes in. So we're going to have a strike of an A5 chord, another strike of an A5 chord, and then we start palm muting. Let me just do it and then I'll break it down. That's the pattern right there. So chord, chord, palm muted bass, chord, palm muted bass, chord. So if the timing feels weird to you, always look for sequences. Think about the timing, but always look for sequences. So after those 2 strums of the A5 chord, it's just going to be muted bass twice, and then the chord, and then muted bass twice again, and the chord again. So there's a little sequence. Right? So chord, chord, palm, mute, chord, palm, mute, chord. All of that together. Never palm muted before. Not going to break it down in extreme detail here, but there's really not a whole lot of detail that's needed, honestly. So I'm using this portion of my hand to land on the saddle where the vibration of the strings stop, and to just find a slight reverberation here where if I'm too far over, I'm just going to catch completely muted strings, and if I'm too far back, of course I'm not going to be muting them at all. So you can just play around with that 5th string in particular. That's where you have to feel the string vibrating on your flesh a little bit, right? That's kind of what you're looking for. I always use the reference of like a mute on a trumpet. Same kind of effect. It's just that we have to know, we have to be aware of where that saddle is, and we have to be aware of what strings we're going to play, so we know, we have to know what we're making contact with. So here it's always the same thing. It's always that fifth string open. So there's not much movement in that hand between strumming an A5 chord, not making contact with the strings, and then making contact with the strings and palm muting. So you want to work, if you haven't done this before, you want to work on making that a very small gesture, right? You shouldn't feel like you're contorting your hand in any way, extreme way at least, to make this happen. It should feel like it falls right into place. So how you position your pick, how you position your fingers here, hand, all of that stuff will come into play. So if you're having trouble with positioning, this may be something that helps you with that, because to get some of these sounds to happen, maybe there are technical adjustments that need to be made, and you know, in the short term and long term, it'll be a great thing for you. So let me just run through those two again real quick. Intro / verse 1 and that just repeats until it goes to the pre-chorus. Very, very short pre-chorus. We've got an F5 chord, 1, 3, 3 there. Strike it 3 times, and then D5, strings 4, 3, 2, open, fret 2, fret 3, same rhythm. So F5, D5. That brings us into the chorus, where we're going to play an A5 chord. We're going to alternate that with a G5 chord. There's a little bit of a funky transition here. You can either hang on that A5 chord or just go ahead and lift off and catch the open strings and transition into this G5. This is a big open G5 power chord. You see it a lot, in particular with ACDC. They use this chord quite often. Can't remember where else I've seen it, but I've got finger 2 on string 6 fret 3. I've got finger 3 on string 2 fret 3. And I've got finger 4 on string 1 fret 3. String 5 is muted, and string 4 and 3 are open. So 5-string power chord. Okay, so A5, and then like I said, you can play around with the transition here. I think when you listen to the recording, you can hear open strings 4 and 3. Kind of like that. And the reason for that is because it's a quick transition. So it's a quick little hit, not too important, but you do hear it. Okay, so my recommendation there is set up the fingers accordingly, right? If you find yourself kind of pinching and these fingers are way out here, this is an adjustment to take care of. You don't want your fingers doing stuff like that. It is just going to make things infinitely more difficult. And something that I pretty regularly hear is, well, I can't make my hand do that. It's just that your hand, your brain have instinct on how to handle anything on the guitar, because we generally understand the movements that we need, or the places we need to be at least, but you have to coach your hand to move a certain way, right? And that's where structuring muscle memory or getting rid of bad muscle memory comes into play. So when I'm holding this, I'm making sure that I've got, you know, good firm pressure on that A5, just the amount that I need to get the chord to ring out, but I am setting my fingers up to drop on that G5 chord. So that is something that you can do, just kind of teeter-tottering back and forth with the left hand. You don't even need to play, right? A lot of my students think, well, I always have to be playing something. Absolutely not. Train that left hand, right? Just walk it back and forth, because if you can do this, then playing it ain't going to be a big deal. Just trying to force it without thinking about things like that, that's where we get into trouble. So that was A5 to G5. I think it's 3 times. we get this. I'm going to lift my pinky off and just play strings 6, 4, 3, 2. 5 is still muted. So same chord, but I'm going to alternate with this F sharp bass note. So I'm just keeping that same chord, and then I'm going to move this note on string 6. So what you're looking for is little bass line walk, but we're doing it with that G5 power chord. And then I just pick that string 6 fret 4 by itself at the end. And it's going to go back into the A5 chord. So let me just go through the pre-chorus and the chorus again. So pre-chorus F5, D5, and then A5, quick switch to G5, let go of the pinky, alternate bass notes. And that is basically it. So, like I said, not a whole lot of music, but there's going to be challenges in there. So if you've never palm muted, this is a great one for that, because you're having to think about maybe a little bit of an odd stretch there and just getting that hand in and out accurately to place the palm mute and then to take it off. And then there's some quick little chord changes and maybe some odd fingerings in there. So in what, like maybe 10 total measures of music being played in repetition throughout the song, somewhere in that vicinity, don't quote me on that, you're getting a lot of material to work with and great things that will help you technically in more challenging tunes. So, you know, don't, it's an opportunity not to waste, I guess I would say. I love the songs that don't require, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of just constant effort to just even memorize something. And then you got to go back and deal with technique, and it can be overwhelming. These nice, neat packages work very, very well. So have fun with that, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.